Hey, how y'all doing? It's Josh from KeepItTechie, and I wanted to start a series of installing different Linux distributions. So to show the viewers how easy it is to switch from Windows, using a free product. So I wanted to do a server edition today, and this will be installing Ubuntu server. And some of the benefits of installing the server edition, you can set up file share, which is using Samba. It's a program you can install in Linux called Samba. It allows you to share files on your network, just like a Windows file share. LAMP, which is it's basically Linux, Apache, MySQL, PHP. I mean, it's basically everything you need to set up a web server. Apache is the actual web server, and then MySQL is where you set up your databases that tie to the website, and obviously PHP is just so you can run PHP scripts on the server. And of course, this program can be installed on Windows too. It's called WAMP. You can install a Windows edition of it. And WAMP stands WAMP. The W stands for Windows, and LAMP, the L stands for Linux. So, also a couple other benefits. You can set up a DNS server. You can use it as a DHCP server. You can also set it up as a proxy. So, those are just a few of the things that you could do with the server edition. I mean, it's obviously hundreds of more, but I don't have time to go through them all. But so let's get started. First thing you want to do is install download the actual server edition. So basically go to ubuntu.com, click on server, and then they'll have a download link. So you just click on that, and you can download it. What I recommend is downloading the LTS, which is long-term support version of Ubuntu server. It's guaranteed as far as updates and all that stuff until April 2021, according to their website. So that's a good thing, which means they'll continue updating, pushing out updates and supporting the server version, or the LTS version. So, alright, so I'm not going to download it myself, but I'm just wanting to show you the link and where to go to download it, so you can hit download, and then you can even torrent it if you need to, which is a good way of doing it. I like to do that because it doesn't slow down my bandwidth too much when I'm downloading directly from the torrent, using torrents. So once you download it, save it wherever you want to save it. Let's get started. I'm going to install it on a VM and create a VM. So this will be a continuation also of me setting up VirtualBox, which was my last video. You can find that under one of my videos. I did a video basically showing guys how to install VirtualBox, and I did it on Windows, but like I said in that video, you can install it in Linux as well. It's in the package manager. So let's go through and get this thing started. Now, I've already installed Ubuntu server on here once before, so I'm gonna delete that one. Delete all files, so I can go through the installation, the full installation, so you guys can see it, how quick it is, and everything. So let me just name it Ubuntu server. So let's see next. I normally set my default to 2 gigs of memory. Just designate 2 gigs of memory. On my system, I have 16 gigs, so this doesn't hurt it. And plus, I'm not going to be running this after this video. So here we go. Create a virtual hard disk. Good to go. Put it in their format, the VirtualBox format. Dynamically dynamically allocate. This will, like I said, it won't be a fixed size. It'll dynamically change the size of the drive as you add programs to it and add documents to it. So next, and I'm gonna set it. Really doesn't matter. I'm gonna set it 40 gigs. So let's go in and configure this right fast before we boot up the system. So just to run through some of this again, this is basically showing you your clipboards. You can copy and paste into the VirtualBox back and forth, or drag and drop back and forth into the VirtualBox. We're really not going to need that because this server version doesn't have a desktop manager installed by default. So put description, and then you can also enable encryption if you want to. So the settings, base memory, like I said, 2 gigs. Processor, I'm gonna give it 2 processors. That's it. I'm gonna have to mess with acceleration. Display, and just bump it up. Never do the acceleration, which it really doesn't matter. I don't need it because, like I said, it doesn't have a desktop. And so we can roll with the CD drive that's created by default. This will you can even create another one. You can go in and hit add optical drive. This will create an optical drive just like that one there, but we might as well use this there. But to show you how to do it, you just hit add optical drive, and then you can go in once you create it and remove it if you need to. But you might as well just keep one there. But anyway, you can go in, put the little button right here, and choose the ISO that you just downloaded. So I already know what mine is. So that's Ubuntu 16.4 server edition. So now we have our live disk added to it, and this is the hard drive right here, 40 gig hard drive we created in the beginning. So it's good to go. And the audio, it's going to use your host audio drivers, so you don't have to really worry about that. Network, I'm going to set it up as a bridge adapter. That way I can use my I have another Wi-Fi cord hooked up on this thing. It's one of those directional antennas. Just use it to play around with. So yeah, I'm gonna set it up as a bridge adapter, and that way it'll set up a kind of a virtual adapter, and it'll draw its own IP address from my network. So good to go. We're not gonna mess with any more of this. You can set up shared folders, all that stuff, but we don't need to at this point. That's okay. Alright, now it's time to start the server. And this will be the first, similar to pushing the power button on the front of a computer. This is all virtual though. So you can double click on it, double left click on it, or you can click the start button right here. And also they have two other ways to run it. You can run it headless. That'll start the server headless, and what that means is it's like you don't have a screen hooked up to the server itself. If you install Ubuntu server onto a computer, you can actually detach the monitor from it and keyboard and all that, and just have it running, on your network. And that's what they mean by headless. And then also you can run detached start. I mean, it'll run in the background. So we're just going to choose the normal start. So let's start it up. Like I said, this is just like pushing the power button on a computer. So here we go. First thing you want to select your language, English. install Ubuntu server. Yep, exactly what we want to do. This is one of the easiest installations I've ever done. Just as easy as Windows. English in the United States. This is basically asking if you wanna, if it wants to try to auto detect your keyboard layout. You don't have to worry about that. Default, it's English anyway, so you know. English US. It's gonna go through, detect the hardware, and start setting up the installer. So let's just sit here and wait. It goes through and set up everything it needs to run the installation. Okay, you can set up the host name. You can change it. You can create whatever you want. Yeah, let me keep it Ubuntu. That's fine. I shouldn't have backed it out. But yeah, Ubuntu is fine. Alright, and this is where I will create a username, a user account. So you just name it Ant-Man. and create your password. Twice. And this is actually if you want to encrypt your own directory. We don't need to. I'm just going to be in. But I would recommend doing that, especially on a system that you permanently setting up. I would encrypt the home drive. I mean, it's just common practice in my opinion. So, no, we're not going to do that. And then it automatically picks up your, this is setting up the clock. It automatically picks up your time zone. So, I believe the next thing is the hard drive setup. Yeah, it's going to open up the partitioning. So, 4 options here, and I'll briefly talk about them. I'm basically gonna do the guided use entire disk. This I mean, it's self-explanatory. It uses the entire disk for all the different partitions and different files and everything. You can set up the guided. It'll use the entire disk using LVM. And LVM is basically you can resize the partitions on the fly with LVM, and then you can do the guided use entire disk as well as encryption with LVM, which is a good thing, and then that'll encrypt everything. And then there's the manual. You can set up each partition. Some people like to separate like your home directory from the actual root directory of all the files for the system. They'll separate their home directory from it, and then you can encrypt both, or you can encrypt them individually, however you want to do it. Only thing is, with encryption, it'll ask you for the password before the system even boots up. So it's a good thing, you know, encrypting all devices, especially if you're doing something you probably don't want anybody else to find out. Whenever your computer shut down, they have to know that encryption key in order to get into the system. So, like I said, we're gonna do the guided use entire disk, basic one. Set this up. Write the changes to the disk. Hit yes. Are you sure? This is when it's gonna start writing all the files, installing all the files to the system. I believe the next thing it's gonna do is ask me what other, after it installs the base system, it'll ask you what programs you want to install onto it, and that's where you'll get into setting up a Samba server or set up a web server, DNS. You can select all those options at that point. So let's give it a couple minutes. Should be done pretty soon. I'm not sure if you guys ever installed Windows though, but this is a hell of a lot quicker installing Linux on anything. It goes through and install everything quick, very quick. Alright, so we're done with that. Now it's gonna configure the package manager. We're not gonna use any proxies, so we can just continue that. It's gonna go figure apt, which is your package manager. Yeah, and you definitely need an internet connection. So if you setting this up on a desktop, old desktop computer or something, you have to have an internet connection, because as you can see, right, it's retrieving files as it's going through this installation. Some of the stuff is gathering from the internet. So, just so you know. Now, this is going to ask you if you wanted to set up, it's basically a script that'll go through and download security updates automatically. You can set that up. I recommend it if you're new to a server or Ubuntu server. I would set it up where security updates are done automatically. It's basically a script that runs in the background with a cron job or whatever that installs all the security updates for you. But I like things manual, so I never set any of that up. I always do all my updates on my own. So I'm gonna say no. And this is where you go in and select what you want, what program software you want to install. So we can set it up as a LAMP server, mail server. I'm gonna just do OpenSSH. And what I'm doing is hitting the space bar to select them. Make sure you don't hit enter, because if you hit enter, it will skip, if you haven't finished selecting everything. And then I'll set up a Samba server just for fun. I'm not gonna do LAMP because some configuration has to be done with it. But this, it'll do most of the configuration for you. So yeah, that's all we need right there. I'm not gonna do much more. So yeah, I'll go through and do that. it's great that they added this to the installer, because pretty sure before I didn't have that option. I remember when I first installed my server, I didn't have that option to install certain programs I wanted at that time. I can't remember what server version I had. I think it was 12 or 10, something like that. Ubuntu server 12, I believe. I only upgrade when there's a long-term release. So I've upgraded throughout the years on the same server for years. And I have a lot of stuff on it, and just to buy time while this thing is installing, I want to show you guys another thing what you can do with it. Once you have it set up, you can set up what they call an Apache, and I mean it's just a fun little thing you can play around with at home. Just to show you, here we go. I'm gonna switch screens and then we're gonna come back to this. So it's just right now it's installing all the software, so you're not really missing anything. So this is my Apache server. This has all my music on it. So just all my music that I listen to. And I can go through and listen to it. Like right now I'm actually listening to it. That's what was popping up every time. Every 5 minutes or so. When the songs change, they show me what the... But this is on my server. And so to show you guys. That's one thing you can do with it. And then also, let me just show you my Samba server right fast, my real one. It'll show up on Windows because I have it shared on Windows, browsable on Windows. And I'll show you those configuration files pretty soon. But yeah, you can just click on Windows Network and you can find the share. Just click work. That's my server. You got the share right there. So yeah, this is my share drive out there. So this is all my music that's out there on my server. And I got a few movies, all that type of stuff. But yeah, that's basically it. Once you get it set up and configured correctly, you can do things like that. So we are almost done with installing all the packages, and server should be up and going pretty soon. And when it finishes the installation, it's going to ask you to remove I normally shut down the server at that point, so I can remove the ISO. So I'll show you when I get to that point. And if you're curious, also while you're waiting, just to show you what I'm using on my main system, I installed ORS Linux. So I'll just show you this is what I got on there. I got an i7 and 16 gigabits of memory, Intel processor. I'm using GNOME, so cool. So yeah, this is where it's gonna install Grub, which is the bootloader. So yeah, you just hit yes on this. This will install a master boot record. We don't have different partitions, so it's not difficult. The root directory is where Grub is installed. fields. I mean, it doesn't matter. I don't have to do it. It should have automatically removed with this. Should keep us on. But anyway, that was good right there. Now our system is booting up. United States. So yeah, first login. So should have already created my user account at the beginning. So just log in with that. And man, alright, and now we have it installed. And this is kind of long, this part, depending on how fast your internet connection is. You run through and install all your packages, updates, and all that. So the command I normally run sudo app update. Yeah, I do nn sudo app. Gotta do a space in there. Sudo app upgrade and -y, and that'll go through and install everything for you. It'll update all the connections, refresh all your connections, and then run the upgrade on the system. So I'm not gonna run that now. I'm going to exit out, and I'm going to see if SSH is set up on this thing, and it should be set up. So let's just test it right fast. So first, hold on, let me go back in here and get the IP address that it gathered. Way to make it easier to have instead of trying to find it. So it has the IP address of 117. So SSH 192.168.117. Type yes. And I messed that up. So what we want to do is, see, I'm used to using the same user accounts across all my servers that I use. I never really create any different usernames. So you gotta make sure you type in the right username. Yep, and it is working. So we can run everything remotely. So yeah, I can actually shut this thing down. So let's see, sudo shut down. And the reason I'm shutting it down because I want to show you running headless. So yeah, let's shut it down remotely. So now we can go in and restore it headless. So like I said, you can preview. You can see the preview right here. It'll show you the system starting up over here. And this is what I mean by setting up a headless system. Once you have it configured, you can manage it all remotely within your network. So yeah, it's running in the background, so we can go back to it. Log into it. let's also look at our configuration files for Samba. So let's see, I think it's sudo nano, I believe it's etc Samba, and then Samba config. And nano is your text editor. You can use whatever text editor you want. I prefer nano. But anyway, this is a configuration file for Samba. So Samba is installed, it's just not configured yet. And what you want to do is go in and create you a share. You can create you a folder somewhere on the server. It could be in your home directory or whatever, and then you can share that via here, and then restart Samba server, and you'll be good to go. So I'm not gonna go through that because I'm gonna do a video on Samba configuring and all, but that's the gist of it. So yeah. So if you enjoyed this video, please give me a like and comment. I'm gonna keep doing videos like this. I'm gonna do a desktop version, some distro of a desktop. Just installing a desktop in a virtual machine, just so we can walk through it. I'm trying to make videos to show Windows users how easy it is to move from Windows to Linux, which is, you know, a free operating system, and everything you can do in Windows you can do in Linux. There are programs on there that were developed to help you accomplish the same task that you can accomplish in Windows. Like for instance, just a word processor, like Microsoft Word. Linux has some developers created a Linux version of that, basically, where you can type up documents, you know, tell your orders consent, and even save them in the Microsoft format. It's called LibreOffice, which is just as good. A lot of the menus are the same. It all looks the same. And I'm not gonna go through this. I'm gonna show you all this later, but it's very similar to Windows. Everything is pretty much the same, and of course it's free. You don't have to pay for it. So yeah, like I said, if you like this video, like the content, please give me a thumbs up. Share the video with somebody that may be interested in these type of videos, and I'll keep it coming, and y'all keep it techie out there.